Hi, everybody. So I wanted to do a reading. I started doing a reading earlier today and posted all over social media, and they're not letting me do this. So I decided I'm going to record all one reading on Zoom, and then I can post it on my channels. A lot of people are going through uh, dark shadow of the night, and I wanted to talk about this. So people who are newer can have an understanding of what they're going through so they can handle as these energies, as you go in accretion and you are pulling in these energies of your oversouls, that you have an understanding of what's going on. There is a mechanics in this. And I can talk about a little bit about the mechanics. You'll hear this from time to time with me, and it's complicated. This is like a master course that I'm teaching or guiding. So for those who, take it slow. This is Ashayana Deane's The Secrets of Amenti, her book. It's huge. It's massive. It's so I'll do some commentary in between what I read so I can explain it to you in layman's terms because it's complex. So let's get going. And I'm doing this video in my kitchen area, not in my energy room. I don't know, I wanted to change it up a bit, a little bit more kind of organic. So when perceiving your own physical body and the external objects and activity around it, you are seeing the particle content of your personal morphogenetic field, Earth's morphogenetic field, and the unified field as they exist within the low to middle frequency bands of D3. D3 is in harmonic universe 1. In harmonic universe 1, you have density dimension 1, 2, and 3, and that would be the earth realm. That's self. In fact, give me a minute. I want to pull up something so I can explain it as I speak. I have a lot of these documents that I've created for people to have. I make visuals because since I'm an artist, I always need a visual. So Earth, which is in harmonic universe 1, is your incarnate self. That is your soul self. Your physical self. We're carbon-based at that point. And I will continue on. So I'll explain as it comes up about which harmonic universe it is. Then I will or density dimension. Then I'll explain what harmonic universe you are in. Well, not you, but what they're speaking of in the book. So morphogenetic field and the unified field, as they exist within the low to middle frequency band of D3, harmonic universe 1, in the pulsation rhythms of the 5th time continuum. At the 2.2 to 2.5 accretion level, sorry, it's hard to say. It's small wording. This is why I'm having issue. It's small wording and to track it, to go back and forth, especially when I stop, it's hard to then get me back on track. That's why I pause. So you perceive these frequency bands as solid, while the particle content of your consciousness is stationed within the low to middle frequency band of D4. D4 would be in harmonic universe 1. There are 3 density dimensions in each harmonic universe. So in harmonic universe 2, which is 4, 5, and 6, and it's called Terra. Okay. And with Terra, you will have, that's your soul self, and it's your etheric matter is silica base. Now, there was a war, the Terran Wars, Fall of Man, and there was a cataclysm in Terra. These are constructs. So this is construct of Terra. And during this cataclysm, a portion of Terra fell, a harmonic universe. And that universe is called the Milky Way galaxy. And so Earth is in this and the planetary system, and that's, we dropped a whole harmonic universe and we dropped a frequency. So in the middle frequency band of D4, in the pulsation rhythms of the 7th time cycle at a 3 to 3.5 accretion level. So we will perceive the frequency band of middle to upper D3 in the pulsation rhythms of the 6th time cycle at the 2.5 to 3 accretion level and inner space. And the activity taking place inside your head and body and the atmosphere surrounding your body and Earth that gives you the perception of space between objects. That's the illusion of separation. And we're going to go into that right now. The illusion of three-dimensional perception is created through this triad of particle pulsion speeds. The pulsation speed rhythm of particles is created as energy substance flow between the fields of particles having different angular rotation of particle spins in relation to each other. The third dimensional human consciousness and the third dimensional body of Earth consciousness are made of particles that pulsate at 3 different rhythms. Those are called ARPs, angular rotation speed, of particle spins. And which exists at 3 different positions of angular rotation. So these particle fields make up 3 levels of your Merkaba field within and through which physically apparent manifestation occurs. So partikai, particum, and partica are these particles that they break down into a big particle into finer particles, and each particle has it's antimatter and matter. So we're dealing with they spin at, one is 45-degree angle and the other is 90-degree angle. And then in between when that happens, flashline sequences happen. And that's lights flashing on and off like a Christmas tree lights. And with this happening, it creates an illusion of separation so we cannot see all the harmonic universes. And also the way these particles spin creates, this is part of manifestation. It creates your light body. This creates the Merkaba fields. And that is your traveling system. Interdimensional traveling system is your Merkaba field. And these are the mechanics. These are also part of ascension mechanics. So there is and here it is. Now they're talking about there is a 90-degree shift in angular rotation of particle spins between the 3 Merkaba fields and between the 3 levels of human consciousness and between 3 levels of Earth's particle body. The 3 levels, the 3 different time continua or octaves through which frequency bands from the dimensional unified fields pulled accreted into the personal morphogenetic field and that of Earth. These 3 particle pulsation rhythms are synchronized through a dance of particle spins, pulsation, personal conscious evolves with Earth upward through time cycles of the 15-dimensional scale and progressively expanding and raising the level accretion. All right, you guys, you're following me. I know it's super, super complex. There's also fission and fusion too. So this is the science. So science, the other science doesn't know this science. The level of frequency accreted in your own personal morphogenetic field will determine your level of DNA strand assembly you possess. So as you go up in harmonic universe, your DNA strands connect and activate. So as you pull in more frequency bands from the dimensional fields, you feel your accretion level rises and more DNA codes assemble and become operational within your DNA strands, and your consciousness perception field expands. Consciousness with a 3 to 3.5 accretion level has a DNA code of 3 to 3.5 strand assembly. And the strand assembly activation levels of the DNA corresponds directly to the number of the dimensional frequency contained within the morphogenetic field of the consciousness. So the number of dimensional frequency contained within the personal morphogenetic field, which corresponds directly to what dimensional levels of Earth body and what time continuum will perceive as physical manifestation reality to that consciousness. If your fourth DNA strand is fully assembled, you will have an accretion level of 4. Your consciousness will be stationed in the lower 5s, and you will perceive that form of and energy patterns existing within the lower D4 frequency bands as physical manifestation events, external events. These thought forms are the energy patterns left behind by you and the masses when your consciousness was stationed in the lower D4 when you're assembling your fourth DNA strand. So let me break this down for you. Your thoughts leave a trail. So this is where because we manifest and thoughts are electrical, that you have to be careful of your thoughts because you leave a trail. And you can, and people picked up your other trail depending on these different stations. This is where we're all trying to change our thought patterns and raise higher levels of consciousness. So when we're going through each level, when we're creating, we're also healing these morphogenetic fields that are connected to each level within our souls too, our past lives. And so as you go through these void zones, and I made a recording of this, a video, this is when you are really going through some hard times, they call it the dark night of the soul. So you're going through some pain and suffering because the morphogenetic fields of the past the time continuum is coming at you, and it's very heavy and it's hard work. And that's when you have to really do your work and break through. And then it creates a more light body. And so you can reach higher levels of consciousness and keep accreting, because you want those DNA strands activated, right? You want to continue on your ascension. And if you don't go through this, it puts and when you become like, oh, you're just sitting there, you're like, why isn't this, I'm not moving in this ascension. Your body is catching up, and ask yourself what work you need to do. This is hard, you guys. This is so hard, but we're very powerful, and this is where staying away from static noise, all that news and stuff is very staticky, and that's where you're absorbing the thoughts of that news, and you're creating a trail of and this is where manifestation comes in, because others are grasping on to that energy that you've created. So this is where the less noise we create for our souls, as we accrete, we will have less static so we can heal. Does that make sense? I mean, and contact me if you have questions too. Sorry, I have a bunch of dogs here. So let me continue on. So your consciousness, when you will have accretion of 4, your consciousness will be in the lower D5. Now D5 connects to your heart chakra. So this is where, like, how does this attach to us? How come we're attached to this? Enzo. Because each chakra is connected to each level. This is where the whole Jesus Christ and the crucifixion of the chakra fields, this is where we were cut off. But things have changed. We're connecting. So when you're connected to D5, that's your heart chakra. So each accretion, you connect to a different chakra level, and then you can work through that energetic, and that connects you to different souls. You know, so that's where your all the different, each harmonic universe connects to a different soul family of you, because we come in here, these are your incarnates. We have like over 1,700 incarnates. This is where, and it's not just 1,700, because then it's broken down even to more, but that's really complicated for another day. So you will perceive thought forms and energy patterns existing within the lower D4 frequency bands as physically manifest external events. So these thought forms are the energy patterns left behind by you and the masses. Okay, that's what I was explaining. And then we go into these fields, and it comes at us, and we have to heal those. So we are not only healing ourselves, we're healing others. And this is a big thing for indigos, okay? So indigos are huge with this. This is why if you're being affected by this, you are totally, in my eyes, an indigo, because you are doing the work. We are put here at this specific time to do the healing. There, you know, there's grid workers, there's guiding, healing, the bipolar, people with polarity issues and being unbalanced in the brain. They've suffered so much. That's hard work, to be unbalanced and to heal, you know. So it's, somebody needs to be breaking down and guiding. We all, and healers and guiders and we are needing to be healed too. So that's part of why I do the work I do. Okay. So we have the thought forms that leave a trail behind. And when the consciousness was stationed in the lower D4s, when you were assembling the fourth DNA strand. Presently, now this book is old, okay? I think it's 2002. So we're way ahead of this. So keep that in mind. Presently, most humans do not have more than a 3.5 accretion level. But we know we do, because we're connected. We're getting downloads, and we're getting memories activated. A low to middle fourth dimensional focus of consciousness. And this level of consciousness corresponds to the 3.5 strand activated DNA, which only allows the consciousness to perceive thought patterns and energy patterns of objects and events of the low to middle frequency bands of D3 as physical reality, like what we are now, because the illusion of separation keeps you from seeing all the other harmonic universes. The frequency fields of D1 are below the range of D4 perception and appear as inner darkness, okay? So D4, the frequency fields of D1 are below the range of D4 and appear as past memories. The middle to upper frequency fields of D3 appear as internal mental perceptual events and thought forms. And as Earth's atmosphere and the space between objects from D4 perception, the reality fields of middle to upper D4 are above the range of present human D4 perception and appear as inner and outer light and future memories. So we're getting past lives. So we're working with dark, we're working with past lives, and we're working with future because we've been all that. We've done this all. This has already happened, you guys. So we're just now coming into it and remembering, because our DNA strands are assembling. And that our crystal seals and fire codes are being activated. And the more you do this work, you get more activated. So this is why I also do all these creative videos, because I'm here to help wake you up and remember, so you can become activated in your DNA strand. And there's a lot of us, it's not just me. So we're all doing our part here. So we're hoping that people that are, and having an understanding of this work, since it's so complicated, if you are able to understand just even the tiniest amount, that means you are activated. That means you should be really proud of yourself. Give yourself a pat on the back that you've been doing the work. So you can understand this because it's activating. Information is activating. So as human DNA builds, the higher dimensional reality fields come into manifest view, and the lower dimensional reality fields fall out of perceptual range. This is why we are having memory issues, because it's falling away. And we want to just keep going. And like this type of information that I'm giving, you'll need to, the recordings are good, so you can hear it over and over and over again. Sometimes I listen to my own recordings, excuse me, so I can remember, because we're all of our memories are compromised. But it won't always be like that. The things that hits the nail on the head for your soul, you will absorb even more. So because you will have a frequency with it. You will be like, oh yeah, that totally resonates with me. Your frequency connected. And then you will have, a lot of times you'll have a physical response. So your body will have chills. And so then you know for sure. So I have people do, it's like a muscle testing, and you can do a sway test, you know. I also want to backtrack. Doing this kind of work, before you do any kind of work, it's really important that you protect your energy fields. And I have one that was given to me by my guide that I share. It's the Christos Diamond Somebody visual. And then the other is the 12D shielding. And so that's a little bit more complicated, and it's taken me, I'm still comprehending it. It's a lot of things. With this visual, it's a lot of steps to do with the 12D shielding, but it's one of the a really strong ones. So in beginning, energy protection, I suggest doing the one that my guide gave me, which is the Christos Diamond Somebody. It's really easy to do, and it's quick, but I do suggest doing it a few times a day, and doing energy clearing too. All right. Continuing on. As a dimensional field begins to come into view, it first appears as inner thought patterns that become inner mental pictures of light. The quality known as imagination is in reality consciousness bringing into its mental view higher dimensional thought forms. So you get visuals. Some people are clairaudient, they'll hear things in their mind. And so those are the things that you have to be aware of. This is not just you. It's you, but it's not you going crazy. Let's just put it that way. So listen to yourself. This is your inner self. This is why I say go inside yourself. Calm the chatter around you. Take in information that will serve a purpose. And this is where serving a purpose is extremely important. And this is why I did a complete lifestyle change. And I don't drink alcohol because it didn't really serve a purpose. It served a purpose for self and certain aspects, but not enough to connect me in spirituality. So the images, perceptions, and pondering of imagination represent higher dimensional thought forms made of energy substance that are placed in higher dimensional fields by the present moment self. Imaginative perceptions may also be thought patterns of higher dimensional future self aspects of identity that just appear in inner perception as a present awareness brings the higher dimensional reality fields in its inner view. The quality known as past memory represents a consciousness bringing into its mental view thought forms of experimental imprints from the dimensional bands below its focus attention. That's the trailing. I'm just calling it trailing. That your thoughts leave and then they're picked up. So negative thoughts hop onto your frequency band and then we transmute. This is where transmitting comes in too. These represent thought forms of past identity aspects presently focused in the lower time continua or within lower frequencies of the present time continuum. Dreams represent portions of thought and experience that is taking place both in higher future and lower past dimensional field times. Continua entering in the present moment station awareness. So pay attention to your dreams. They're there for a reason. If you can do conscious dreaming, that's even better. They say, journal. Usually the ones that I have, when I have consciousness dreaming, I usually tend to remember those more than the other stuff. So yes, in your unconscious mind, dreams can come through, but are those unconscious dreaming is from past lives, future lives? Okay, because we are stationed in selves in all different earths. We have parallel earth, again, inner earth. We have, upper, down. I mean, we have all these different of us because we have all these souls. So the low to middle D4 is harmonic universe 2, frequency band in which human consciousness is presently stationed. Represents now moment stream of consciousness. I'm sorry, I had a moment there. Okay, I'm sorry, I was thinking. So in which presently station represents the now moment stream of consciousness where we are now. Remember, there's illusion of separation. So which is always a point of personal creative power. Be in your creative power. Thoughts held in the present moment focus of conscious attention will be left as an imprint, energetic substance within the frequency band in which those thoughts were held. Once the focus of attention has moved beyond those thoughts and on to the next, the thought imprints left behind become morphogenetic fields as the now moment focus on attention moves forward into the next set of frequency bands. So your work that you do on yourself, you're leaving a trail, and that's healing others and yourself. Positive thoughts leave a trail. That work. So all the work everybody's doing is helping us. We're all helping one another. This is co-creatorship. This is unity consciousness. This is exactly what they mean by consciousness co-response. This is part of the law of one. And yes, I'm clairaudient and sentient. So the law of one is co-creatorship, co-unity consciousness. It's loving thyself, loving others, being out in nature and creation. It's all creation. And so when we are healing, we are doing unity consciousness. I lost my train of thought here. So let me just try to pick it back up. The process of moving forward through time is the process of progressively accreting sound frequencies into your personal morphogenetic field. And as you pass your consciousness through a now moment point, it internalizes all contained within the manifest moment as a minute digital electro program made of frequency. The process of internalizing that moment in time expands your morphogenetic field, which creates a subtle acceleration in the pulsation rhythms of particles of which your body and consciousness are exposed. The acceleration of pulsation rhythm perceptually and energetically moves you as consciousness forward in the next set of frequency bands. Okay, I'm going to reread that. The acceleration of pulsation rhythm, that's your particles. Because the way the particle spins and the frequency bands it's connected to and the light accretion is the flash line sequences, those lights that flash on like Christmas tree lights, okay? It creates a pulsion, angular ARPS, angular rotation, particle spin. That's what they're talking. And it creates also something called fission and fusion. So the pulsation rhythm perceptually and energetically moves you. This is what moves you. This is also creates illusion. This is part of manifestation. It moves you as consciousness forward into the next set of frequency bands. These are the mechanics, okay, of ascension. The frequency bands of the previous moment internalize and fall from your view as a set of frequency bands directly above them become your next now moment of consciousness focus. Movement through time is frequency accretion. The manifest state, the manifest illusion you perceive before your eyes in reality, a unified field of frequency composed of energy particle substance in the form of digital electronal thought pattern. Okay, that's the particle, particum, and particle. And it goes deeper than that too, because it goes into crystalline structures, but I'm not going to talk about that right now. So everything in person outside of yourself, including your body and the contents of your conscious mind at that moment, exists as an energy imprint within the unified field of that now moment. If you can teach yourself to perceive each moment of your external reality as a dreamscape that is manifesting through your consciousness, you will get closer to consciously sensing that the stream of consciousness through which your external reality manifests directly through you. Okay? I think I'll repeat that. If you can teach yourself to perceive each moment of your external reality as a dream, this is why they say wake up. This is just a dream. This is a reality of perception. So I look at things like as I'm above and I'm looking below, and this is just, it's just a perception. I know it sounds crazy, you guys. I know, like we're real humans and this, yes, we are humans, okay? And yes, this is really happening. But we're also in just a realm. There's other things happening. And since there is an illusion of separation, you can't see it. And that's what this is saying. So if you are able to perceive a different moment of your external reality as a dreamscape that is manifesting through your consciousness, you will get closer to consciously sensing that the stream of consciousness through which your external reality, everything around you, manifests directly through you. You are creating, what you perceive here is your creation. So you have a choice. You can create shit, or you can create something beautiful, magical, right? I know where I'd go. Calm all that static and just, heaven, just, it's heavenly, that's love, coming from love. And that is hard for many, because when you go into love and open your heart chakra, the fourth chakra, your green heart, the color is green. When you open your heart chakra, it's your astral realm. You get a connection, heart, up to Armamatina, which is the fourth harmonic universe in the heavenly realms. The 12D shielding for energy protection. 12D is in Armamatina, which is the harmonic universe of 4. It is the density and dimension of 10, 11, and 12. I'm going to pull up my chart here so I can tell you which self that is. and this makes me so excited to share this with you. It is your avatar Christos self. It is your pre-matter. It's light. It's your light body. It's your Christos, Christ. It's your Christ itself. This is where Christ consciousness. Okay, I'm going to continue on. Just as your internal dreams seem to take place within your consciousness while you participate with them, your external reality is also a dreamscape manufactured by your consciousness, through which energy particles are shaped into thought forms that will later become manifest. This is the particle, particum, and particum, matter, antimatter. Anti meaning there's ANTE matter and ANTI matter. There is a difference. And you are walking within the confines of a mass dream. And the sooner that you can grasp that concept, the sooner you will be able to assert creative control over the form of your personal part of the mass stream will take. Every time you think a thought, you are leaving a morphogenetic imprint within a frequency band in which your consciousness was stationed. You will run into that thought pattern in combination with others from the collective consciousness as manifest in physical reality. And the reason why is because it's the law of one. We are consciously all one and oneness. Morphogenetic fields are the form-holding patterns through which matter forms and events manifest. You create, we manifest. We are that great. We are creators and we manifest. And I cannot stress enough to calm the static. When morphogenetic field is created, it begins to draw a frequency pattern into itself. And it's expanding and it has accretion and it's fleshing itself out into matter. And have you ever considered where thoughts go? Once your attention has left them, your thoughts just don't disappear, you guys. They stay. They leave a trail. And part of what happens to you as you manifest reality now from your deforestation attention, that's your heart chakra. D4 is connected to the fourth harmonic universe, Arma Matina, which is heaven, the heavenly realms. It represents your thought forms of the collective masses that were left behind the morphogenetic field. When a conscious focus of attention was stationed in the dimension below your present focus. And part of what you see before your eyes represents the living thought forms of your past selves from this incarnation and those previous and those masses. And your thoughts become morphogenetic fields within the morphogenetic field of Earth, planted within the frequency bands, which your consciousness is presently stationed, left with your present time cycle, and to be rediscovered as manifest objects and events once your consciousness has evolved beyond them. So these auric levels are our outer souls. Okay, let me back up. Our inner chakras are 7. We have 7 inner chakras. And that was just talking about 4D, and that's the heart chakra. Okay. And we also have 8 outer layers of energy fields, and those are our oversouls, and those are each connected on chakra levels 2 in our outer chakras. Okay. I post pictures of this. It takes a long time to comprehend it. So just give yourself some time to absorb this, because it's complicated. And if you're absorbing this period, you are activated. Your DNA strands have been you're connected. You're connecting. It doesn't stop. So Another part of what you perceive before your eyes represents the collective thought forms of your future selves, whose focus of attention is stationed in space-time coordinates ahead of those in which you represent consciousness's focus. Thought forms expand backwards and forward in time and down the dimensional scale from the position in which the thought forms were created. Your present manifest illusion is composed of the thought forms of your past and future selves and thought forms that you presently hold. A thought form placed in one dimension will align the energy substance of all the dimensions below it and into the versions of that pattern that the thought sets a morphogenetic field in each dimension below. The thought will also group with like thoughts from the future. And so this is where I see a lot of future things. You know, I see where we're going in the future. I see how it will be. So a lot of this corruption that's happening, I can see that, oh, they're going to use it this way as a possibility. Because of course, you know, you still are working with the frequency band, the lower frequency. Well, those go away, but you remember some of those, right? So you think, oh, could it still be? No, you know, I'm gonna do a hypothetical here. Okay. I'm gonna give you an example. Metadata is building all these data centers, right? And in these data centers, it's to hold more cloud servers. Okay, so everybody's like, oh, and I myself am guilty of posting some of this, but this is also to help wake people up that in these cloud servers, it's AI, and of course, Meta is irresponsible with their AI. So um, they would take consciousness. They want to take our human consciousness and yet they're not responsible. Now, when you use consciousness, they've been doing this for a long time. They put consciousness in clones. Okay, you see it in Hollywood. But we have to, if you do this, I can see the positive in this too, because this is where we take ourselves out of being slaves, right? Using AI and have it put in consciousness can put you in many different ways in different locations at once with who you are. Well, we're already in that already, you guys. So this we're going back and forth in time continuums. So this is where I see the future is that they are not, you're going to hear a commercial here. My music just stopped. So this is where I see in the future that we can utilize, okay, our homes. So it needs to be cleaned, right? And here you have AI yourself in your consciousness cleaning your home, but you're really here. The original blueprint of you is still here. Meanwhile, the copy of you is cleaning your home. Okay, that's pretty cool, right? I mean, we all need a clean home. So that's using it, you know, constructively or but when it's irresponsible, that's the only problem. And that's where AI fails us. So AI is not necessarily a bad thing. I mean, look, we all have connected because we have cell phones. That's AI. We're connecting with AI on meetings on computers like Zoom or whatever applications. So it's responsible co-creatorship. And this is where the fallen angelics have failed us, okay, in the Metatronics, okay? Metatron is a fallen angelic race that came from the lineage of the Giovanni. So the fellow Metatron, look at Facebook, they named it Meta, or changed the name to Meta. It's from Metatron. It's Metatronics, the black cube, the Fibonacci sequence, all the black cube in Mecca. People are dancing and singing. I mean, they're stirring in. Okay, remember, thought forms leave a trail. So they're pulling in satanic rituals and bringing in a negative force. They're leaving a trail, and this is what we're transmuting and healing is their crap. Yeah. We're pretty amazing, you guys, to be able to transmute this malarkey, okay? I'll continue on. I'm going to just read a little bit. a little bit because it talks about karmic imprint, and I want you to get that information. A thought form placed in one dimension will align the energy substance of all the dimensions below it into a version of that pattern. The thought sets a morphogenetic field in each of the dimensions below. The thought will also group with like thoughts from the future, the higher dimensional frequency bands, and set morphogenetic imprints of itself in all the dimensions above. Thus, the thought expands backward and forwards. We're going back and forth in time continuums. Every thought you think now combines with like thoughts of past and future selves to give you the manifest illusion you presently perceive. Like the thought and action attracts and remanifests like thought and action. Your past thoughts and deeds will show themselves in your present reality, but you have the absolute power to change them by using your present focus of attention to create new thoughts and redesign those that are undesirable, whether they are coming from your past, present, or future. Thought patterns from your past selves, which are composed of more denser and slower pulsating particles, manifest within the cellular structure of the body, the particuli, particum, and particate. That's how important those structures are. And this is frequently referred to as your karmic imprint or karmic debt. These thought patterns of past selves will remain in the body and replicate themselves in the present and future until slower pulsating particles of those thought patterns are raised in speed and released from the frequency patterns of which the body is composed. So as you go up in accretion, you lower you raise your frequency, but your vibration goes down. So when people say raise your vibration, it's not necessarily on target here, you guys, because as we go up, our frequency changes. Frequency and vibration are different. They hold different energetic. Sorry. I'm sorry. They form different energetic patterns. And as you accrete, you get a different energetic pattern that is coming strictly through you to your morphogenetic fields, so connect you in their inner chakras, and you will have that frequency band within you. I won't remember what I just said, but that was coming through to me so I could explain it. I can't wait to rewatch that one. That happens to me often. I don't catch that happening often on camera. I don't like to do that often on camera. I don't want to admit I can channel, and it's the term that bothers me. We all can do it once you get to a certain level, but I have to, this is where I've been fighting that I am able to do this because of the connection I have, because I am connected in sound of frequency and on the 12 level 12D for healing. And this is why I am, I develop my sound of frequency, because when I heal people and they come to me, my energetic pulls in their energy and they feel my frequency through the sound of frequency humming. And so it is a channel, it's a connection. I call it vertical connection. It just, I don't know. I think what the problem is that the New Age movement has ruined specific words. Because I want people to go inside themselves, and I don't really, when I see people, I do talk to them about themselves to get them going into thought process to start working on themselves. But I push people to go inside themselves to hear. Okay, so you have the power in your present moment to change any thought pattern from your personal past, present, and future. And in doing so, you will change the contours of your present reality. You can become karma immune. So once you learn to master this power for you, you will train your consciousness to go backwards and forwards in time to recreate undesired events and redesign more desirable outcomes. The slow way to release slower pulsating that pattern, and their manifest discomforts from your life is to wait until the events manifest in external reality or as a condition of disease within the body. Then you take action in the present to create a present solution. And that solution expands backwards and forwards in time to create a degree of resolution of the pattern in the past future. This is the unusual path of walking through your karma, or walking through the cumulative thought patterns of your past, present, and future selves. And the fast way to change your karmic imprint is to catch those slower pulsating thought patterns before they move into manifestation. So when I have a negative thought, and I think it and I say, no, I put a big X marks on it. And I'm like, no, that cannot go into the morphogenetic field, because I will be doing a disservice to you. And then I say to myself, you are powerful enough to change your thought pattern, because your thoughts are electrical and your feelings are magnetic, and you pull those together and you create an event. And these are the mechanics with the particle spins. You slow that pulsation rate and you cancel any negativity. This is easier said than done, but it is not exceedingly difficult to do. So once you've trained your consciousness to manipulate energy in this certain way, you'll be able to change your thought patterns from the past and the future. And it becomes a particle makeup of your consciousness, your bioenergetic field, your DNA changes, your external reality field. And they become stored now in your DNA as, here comes the crystal part, as minute crystallization of energy, which inhibits the natural process of the DNA strand assembly. You end up having a actual chemistry change in your body. So you're able to change your strands of DNA, not and change the braiding of the DNA, and having the ladders in that DNA changes. And the crystalline, the Christed crystalline chemistry in your body changes, and your DNA strands will start to assemble, and the braiding starts, the movement of the braiding starts to change rotationals with the particle spins. Okay, so thank you for listening. If you have any questions, please reach out. You can leave comments. I highly recommend leaving a positive comment, because your thoughts are very important. You will be leaving a trail. If you do leave a negative comment, I will be transmuting it, because I know how to manipulate energy through particles. But let me give you something to think about. Why, if you're leaving a negative comment, where are you? You're not where you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be starting to heal yourself. So you have work to do. Change it's a thought pattern, you know, and there's a lot of people that are right now helping people to change thought patterns. I know specific people that can help you, you know, through the hard times. I do healing in chakra fields and breaking up energy forms. I can help you change thought patterns too, but I know I have connections to people that can help you do that better. And this is where co-creatorship comes into play, and the law of one. And so there is a company, a man I know, he has a company, and he has practitioners, I'm going to call them practitioners, that can help guide you to start changing your thought patterns. You can do it yourself, but if you need a hand held, I can give you the contact information. So It is called Status Flow. I'll leave the link below, and Status Flow can help get you your flow. So it's funny because I started a flow project as well, and then I met someone who has a flow project too. So we're all just creating flow, and this is part of the collective to help heal. It's powerful. It's really powerful healing. And I suggest doing all of it. But first, we need to get the energy going, the chi, the flow in your energetic system. I work with the first 7. Okay, I have healing modalities, which is pulsed electromagnetic field healing. That has cellular healing. That is also real spiritual. It connects you spiritually as well. So when we have DNA cellular healing, it helps open chakra fields too. So I do my sound of frequency humming as while you're laying on my mat. If you're here in Minnesota, contact me. I would love to work on your energy field and help you heal, you know? So thank you for your time. This was really great. The energy fields are fantastic right now. They're just off the charts. And I will see you soon. Stay focused, positive, heart-centered, and connected to the astral realms. The heavenly realms are all around you. Much love.